from Studio 46. This is CBS 2 News This Morning.
Thousands of students and their parents will get a rude awakening this week when alarm clocks ring once again and schools open their doors. And for many, a summer of sleeping in will be replaced with a wake-up call that feels like it's coming in the middle of the night. But there are some things that parents can do to help make the transition a little bit easier. Dr. Daniel Erichsen is the director of the Center for Sleep Medicine at St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So it's tough to get back into the schedule when September rolls around, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about how many hours of sleep each night a child and a teen should be getting.
All right, so how much sleep you need depends on your age. So a younger child probably needs, 11 to 12 hours versus a teenager who needs maybe 9 to 11 hours.
9 to 11 hours. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics recently came out saying middle school and high schools shouldn't start their day until 8:30, specifically because of how it affects sleep for these students. What are the issues that they're seeing?
That's right. So what happens is, in all of us, when it comes to the time when we want to sleep at 9 to 10, we start producing this hormone called melatonin that makes us a little sleepy and makes it easier for us to sleep. In teenagers, that hormone is produced about 2 hours later than in adults, so it's basically impossible for teenagers to sleep as early as it is for us. Now, if you keep their wake-up time as early as 6:30, it will be impossible for them to get enough sleep. So therefore, the Academy is saying, why not let them sleep a little longer and have them get sufficient sleep?
For most schools, there's no choice. They start before 8:30. What are some tips for teenagers first that we should talk about to get them back into this routine and get enough sleep at night?
All right, so the first thing is you got to plan ahead, meaning it's impossible to start waking up at 7 a.m. when you've been used to waking up at 11 a.m. for several weeks.
Right.
So remember, it takes about 1 hour to adjust, it takes about 1 day to adjust your sleep time 1 hour. So if your teenager has drifted 4 hours during the summer, it'll take at least 4 days to get into that routine. Now, what a lot of people do is they have their kids just go to bed earlier. And that is not the right way to go. In fact, you should start with the wake-up time. You should have them wake up earlier, and then the bedtime will fall into place.
Okay, so what about children, younger children?
The same thing applies to younger children. If you think about it, it applies to us too, meaning if you're used to sleeping from 11 to 6 a.m., and somebody tells you, oh, you got to go to bed 8 p.m. tonight, nothing's going to happen. You're simply going to lay there waiting for your usual bedtime. So if you start with a wake-up time, having your child wake up 1 hour earlier, a couple of days ahead of school, then the bedtime will fall into place.
Okay, so for some kids, it's a little bit too late to get into that schedule right now because they're starting early. But what can you do if it becomes a constant struggle?
So if waking your child up earlier doesn't help, the child still struggles to fall asleep, there are a few more things you can do. You could give them a little supplemental melatonin. We talked about that before. Melatonin helps us, relax and fall asleep. And you can buy that over the counter, and it's completely safe.
And then just quickly, because we're running out of time, how do you know if you have a tougher or you have something more serious regarding your sleep, a sleep disorder?
Right. So the sleep disorder that we're most concerned about is sleep apnea. So if your child snores a lot, if you hear them choking in sleep, if you are concerned about their breathing overall, those are signs of sleep apnea and something you should talk to your doctor about.
All right, a lot of good tips this morning. Thank you so much, Doc. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Erichsen. And if you'd like to see any more of this information, you can head to our website at cbsnewyork.com/back-to-school. You'll also find the school lunch ideas we showed you a bit earlier this morning, plus shopping guides and safety tips for your students. We'll be right back. This is CBS 2 News Sunday Morning.